Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rukakudash. I want to go into this comment here about the color of Yahweh Shai and the color of David. This comment is by Los Indios, somos Israelitas. We Indians are Israelites, is his channel's name in the English. I'm going to read his comment here. It says, David, the ancestor of Christ, according to the Masoretic text, was red like Esau. According to you, Esau was pale. That's according to the Masoretic text, not me. Was David an Edomite because he had the same complexion as Esau? No. You did say we came from black people. You said the following in a previous comment. Why were the native tribes kicked out of the Holy Land? Because they mixed themselves among the heathen, thus changing their phenotype to looking more like the forefathers of the Chinese, Japanese, Edomites. So you cannot absolutely say that our people didn't come from black people to begin with. Otherwise, explain why almost every Native American's ancestry DNA results have Asian markers in their results. So you did say our people came from black people. You are saying that Native Americans have a heathen phenotype. According to you, we were originally black. But then we mixed with the heathen and our phenotype changed to a Native American phenotype. That's racist and self-hatred and cannot be proven. And this is what black Hebrew Israelites pretty much are saying when they say original Israelites were black. But yet they include us natives in their 12 tribes chart. You don't see the racism towards us? That's a racist doctrine towards us natives. Okay, so from there, I want to go to these pictures here that he's been posting, right? So he's saying that no, the people are not Negroes. Sorry, the Persians are not black. Sorry. And he's talking about their hair being wavy with curls at the bottom, right? And this is an Ethiopian Hamite right here on the bottom right, and a Persian Semite, right? This one here, the Assyrians are not black. The Assyrians have wavy hair. The wavy hair is type number 2, Semite hair, and he's showing us the wavy hair of the Assyrians, right? I don't know what that has to do with anything really, but the Arabs are also Semites. Don't believe the lies that the black Hebrew Israelites that say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are black. It's time to reclaim our true history from these Afrocentrics. The Arabs, descendants of Abraham, have straight hair, right? This is a Assyrian and an Indian, and they did mix with them, right? Because it says that our people have mixed themselves among the heathen, and the Assyrians. Syria is right above the northern kingdom, right? And there's proof of that mixing all throughout the United States with the crown of the head. You know what I mean? The Chief Joseph's tablet, all of that type of stuff. There's another one here. I don't speak Spanish very well. I'm trying to figure it out here. But it says the Assyrians are not Negroes. They have wavy hair, and this one is Afro, right? So you can see the theme of his posts are to prove that Persians, Assyrians, and Arabs, all descendants of Shem, wavy hair and straight hair, right? So his whole thing here is to prove this one here, complexion ruddy, 1 Samuel 16:12. In the Bible, David has the same complexion as Esau according to text, Masoretic, H132. Okay? But I want to go into these things here. The Bible say okay, so he's saying like he's excluding the so-called blacks from being Israelites, not just from being Judites or Benjaminites or Levites, just from excluding them totally, right? But what I want to do now is go in, because he posts these things every day and it comes across my feed, right? And so yesterday I was going into this, and I came across some things here that I want to share. First, it will be this one. I have a few of them, and there's scriptures involved here, but these are just pictures right here. Jewish captives in Nineveh, Assyria, when Tiglath-Pileser II ruled 745 to 727, invaded Samaria and Israel in 732. Okay? What do these people have? They don't have long and wavy hair like their captors. You see these two men on the left here? They have these people all in subjection, and they look to me to have afros. Am I right or wrong? Right? Okay, so there's one. Let's go to the next. This here. Conquest of the city of Ashtaroth by the Assyrians. Soldiers of Tiglath-Pileser III led away inhabitants and cattle. Wall relief. These men here don't have the same, well, I guess they do kind of have the same hair and stuff like that, right? Okay, so let's go to the next, because he's totally okay. This one here was a good one. I like this one. Bronze decorations from the great door of the palace of Shalmaneser III, 858 to 824 BC, in Balawat district of Nimrud. Let's look at these. These look like black men, right? Black men. Black men. Nothing straight about their hair. This one has a little bit longer of a shag. But these men have afros. Looks like to me, right? Okay. So let's go to the next one. Let me turn on my do not disturb here. Okay. Assyrian soldiers holding decapitated heads of Nubian soldiers. Because he was posting these pictures the other day also, and saying that the Egyptians look like Native Americans, and that's why they weren't black people either, right? Okay, this is a detail of a large gypsum wall panel. The panel depicts the Assyrian attack on a fortress at the Egyptian city of Memphis in 667 BCE. Nubian soldiers of King Tarka are being led as prisoners by the Assyrian soldiers of Ashurbanipal II. The heads of the Nubian soldiers are clearly recognizable by their scalp hair and facial features. They wore short kilts and barefooted. They are handcuffed. On the right, two Assyrian soldiers hold decapitated heads of defeated Nubians. Okay, so this is going to be clear. The Egyptians had afro hair. They look like Hamites, right? They don't look like native people, like Native Americans. They look nothing like the Assyrians. They got them big foreheads and, their hairlines pushed way back. Maybe they cut it like that. But their hair is afro, right? So, and then from there, let's go to another one. Okay, this is Pharrell's travel blog, visualizing Isaiah 10, right? So we'll get some scripture along with this. Visualizing Isaiah 10, Assyria, the rod of my anger. The Assyrians are first introduced in Isaiah 7. In chapter 10, we are informed that they are the rod of the Lord's anger. They will serve the purpose of the Most High to punish his people. Isaiah tells us that the Assyrians did not plan to be doing the will of the Lord. They only wanted to destroy many nations. Ah, Assyria, the rod of mine anger, the staff in their hands is my fury. Against a godless nation I send him, and against the people of my wrath I command him, to take spoil and seize plunder, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. But he does not so intend, and his heart does not so think. But it is in his heart to destroy, and to cut off nations, not a few. For he says, are not my commanders all kings? Isaiah 10:5-8 ESV. In the photos below, I hope to illustrate a few ways the Assyrians punished the Judeans. Certainly the same was true of the northern kingdom of Israel, 2 Kings 17:5-6. The Assyrians destroyed the northern cities of Israel, such as Hazor and the site sometimes identified as Geshur, or New Testament Bethsaida, in 732 BC. By 722-21, Samaria lay in ruins. Assyria continued south into Judah. Sennacherib claims to have destroyed 46 strong cities of Judea, in addition to all the nearby villages, the Taylor Prism. Assyrian king Sennacherib left reliefs of his war against Lachish on his palace wall at Nineveh. The following photos are portions of that relief, now displayed in the British Museum. Many Judeans were taken into captivity. Others begged for mercy in the hilly Shephelah of Judah. Okay, this is a picture of Judeans begging for mercy on a wall relief. Judeans, Jews, right? Because the northern kingdom had already been taken into captivity. And you see, they are Negro. These are Negro, Judeans. No denying that. Straight up Negroes, Judeans, Jews. Right? The plea was unsuccessful for some of them. This portion shows an Assyrian commander killing a Judean. Got him by his afro and stabbing him in the neck, it looks like. Chopping his head off, probably. Right? An Assyrian soldier kills a Judean. This portion of the relief shows heads of the slain being brought together for accounting. Some Egyptian reliefs show hands and other body parts being gathered for the same purpose. Okay? Heads of Judeans being collected to get a count. I don't see any long, straight hair dangling off of these people. Right? I don't see it. a 25-minute Discovery Channel. Okay, so that was it for that one. But you clearly saw that these people, Judeans, were Negroes. Okay. The map illustrating Pharaoh Necho's trip to Carchemish was included in Bible Mapper. Click to see a larger, more easily read map. Okay. So, let's go down here. We have one more nice Neo-Hittite piece displayed. So this is of the Hittites. Their funky hats. Okay, the son of Sennacherib. Okay, so right here I'm gonna Assyrian. The museum has one stele depicting Esarhaddon, the son of Sennacherib, and his successor as king of Assyria. This is recorded in 2 Kings 19 and 37 and Isaiah 37 and 38, Esdras 4 and 2. I am not certain about the identity of the rulers who are bowing before Esarhaddon, but I suspect this represents the same persons as the much better stele in the Berlin Museum. The stele here depicts the king holding ropes leading to the lips of Tirhakah of Egypt and Ethiopia, Cush. In Anet 293, he is referred to as king of Nubia and Ba'alu of Tyre. If so, then the bowing figure with Negroid features was an ally of Hezekiah against the Assyrians in 2 Kings 19 and 9. The Berlin stele comes from Zingerli and was discovered in 1888. First, here is the Aleppo stele. A broken relief showing Esarhaddon and two captured rulers, one on bended knee before him. Okay. Esarhaddon is standing, and this one here with the Negroid features was, as it said, he is referred to as king of Nubia and Ba'alu of Tyre. If so, then the bowing figure with Negroid features was an ally of King Hezekiah against the Assyrians. So, not only were the Judeans Negroids, but their allies were Negroids, right? And here is the Berlin stele. Stele of Esarhaddon displayed in the Pergamum Museum, Berlin. And you can clearly see that this man that is kneeling, who was the ally of Hezekiah, was a Negroid, right? Black men. So who cares if the Assyrians are not black? They have nothing to do with us. There are captors. I have the permission that the stele displayed in Aleppo may be one. I have the impression that the stele displayed in Aleppo may be one made by a beginner and was never finished. Notice the lack of proportion in the legs of the kneeling figure and the absence of clear decorations at the top. Okay. So we're going to go here. Several examples of the cruelty of war in ancient times is in limestone relief at the siege of Lachish, which was found in Sennacherib's palace at Nineveh. The replica relief may be seen in the Israel Museum, but the original is in its own designated room in the British Museum. An Assyrian warrior kills one of the locals at Lachish. The Bible mentions the siege of Lachish in several places, including 2 Chronicles 32 and 9, right? You can see this man that is being killed he has an afro. He's black. A black man being killed by a white man. Okay, after this, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, who was besieging Lachish with all his forces, sent his servants to Jerusalem, to Hezekiah, king of Judah, and to all the people of Judah who were in Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Sennacherib, king of Assyria, Oh, what are you trusting, that you endure the siege in Jerusalem? Right? Counting the heads of the dead at Lachish. They're counting the heads of the dead at Lachish, right? And I don't see, they might have chopped off their hair if they had long, straight hair, but I don't see it. It looks like these men had afros. Some scholars suggest that the next panel portrays the Assyrians flaying the Judeans, bodies of the dead at Lachish. This is the Assyrians flaying the Judeans, right? And what do we have? Assyrians, right here, these men, flaying the Judeans. What the hell do we have? Men with afros. The Judeans, the Jews. One panel shows local citizens being impaled on poles. After a day of impaling, beheading, and counting heads, it might be easy enough to see ghosts. Disciples used to advance. We can desire that all men came to accept the teaching of Yahushua when one of his disciples used the sword to advance to the cause of the Lord. Yahushua said unto him, Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. So they're saying that this is probably why that they're in this position, because they didn't take up the sword, right? Okay, here I've chosen the concrete on the premise of the return of the remnant of the captivity, an event that took place initially in 536. And the Lord will utterly destroy the tongue of the sea of Egypt, and will wave his hand over the river with his scorching breath, and strike it into 7 channels. And he will lead people across the sandals, and there will be a highway from Assyria for the remnant that remains of his people, as there was for Israel when they came up from the land of Egypt. Isaiah 11:15 and 16. There's a picture of the Euphrates River looking north at Turkey. Okay, so that's King of Mari. Tiglath-Pileser subjugates an enemy. We don't know who that enemy is. Okay. Puts his foot on the neck of an enemy. We don't really know who that person is. Okay. The winged bull. Assyrian slingers at Lachish. So this is when they attacked Judea. Right? One of the Nimrud ivories from the British Museum. That looks like somebody with an afro being eaten by a lion, right? And I don't know what that is there, but we saw this one earlier. The king of Tyre and the king of Nubia, right? Sargon receives his minister from the palace. Okay, so from there, let's go get another one, right? Let's go get another one. That was Sargon and his minister. Okay, and I think I had gotten these ones before. Okay, so let's check this out here, right? It's the same thing, I think. Information about the three captives playing the lyre relief. Alabaster relief from the palace of Sennacherib at Nineveh, his capital. Three captives, possibly Hebrew, are playing instruments, the lyre. The archaeologists who excavated the relief believed them to be Hebrews. The Assyrian soldier is forcing a song carrying a club and a quiver. It was common for Assyrians to require songs from captives. The captives are barefoot, wearing tunics, and two are wearing head coverings with headbands. The lozenge background shows that it was in a wooded area or forest. The detailed relief stands 99 centimeters tall. Sennacherib reigned from 705 to 681. The 10 northern tribes of Israel had already been taken captive to Assyria in 722. Sennacherib's west campaigns extended to the land of Judah. This could have been a city in Israel or Judah, but it is uncertain. The event took place during Sennacherib's reign. This wall panel is from the Neo-Assyrian period 1000 to 600 before Christ. Excavated at the site of ancient Nineveh, his army was defeated at the gates of Jerusalem by the angel of the Lord. Ancient Nineveh was excavated by Austin Henry Layard of Britain around 1849. This stone panel is currently at the British Museum. Nineveh was Sennacherib's capital city, northern Iraq. There is no certain evidence that these three were Hebrew, but definitely Semitic. And what did this guy say? In all of his stupid pictures here? This is Semitic hair. It's long and wavy, right? The Arabs also Semites. They have straight hair. You know what I'm saying? The Assyrians are not Negroes. These are Negroes on the right. You know what I'm saying? Like he's discounting these people from being Semites, let alone from being Jews. Everything that he's posting is about, no, the Persians are not black, sorry, right? This is an Ethiopian on the left. He's black, not the Egyptians. Wavy hair, no, the Assyrians are not Negroes. Nobody ever said that the Assyrians were Negroes. We know that they're white people. The descendants of Shem have long and wavy hair, right? But over here, it's saying this stone panel is currently at the British Museum. There is no certain evidence that these three were Hebrew, but definitely Semitic. Definitely Semitic. Definitely Semitic. These look like black men to me. I don't care what you say. These look like black men to me. Definitely Semitic. So I think we might have one more. No, that was it. Okay. So that's what I wanted to go into on this video. To call this man here a liar. Everything he posts is against the black Hebrew Israelites, as he calls them, and saying that their doctrine is it's racist towards the 10 tribes, and that they're not that they aren't like this right here, this the complexion of ruddy Samuel. Okay, so I don't have my sword, but let's get that Esau hairy garment. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Okay? Hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. So, what would I do here in this case? Hairy garment dyed red. Well, let me see. Red like a hairy garment. Red like a hairy garment. Well, I'll go into it in a different video. I don't want to make this too long. I've already proven my point. I'm pretty sure that this guy here is a liar, right? This guy here is a liar. So I'm going to at him in this video. Hopefully, you brothers and sisters, whoever's watching this, was edified. And don't listen to this guy here. His feed keeps coming up on my channel, and I keep seeing this because in the beginning when I saw his posts, he was posting a lot about natives, and me being a native, I fell into it. But then he revealed himself later on as being a vocab follower. He's against the 12 tribes chart. He's against the so-called blacks in America as being Israelites. He's against all of that. So I put this video out there to show everybody that he's wrong. And until then, I'll see you on the next one. I found this, and I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, because that's where I learned this truth and where I learned to study and go into things to find them out for myself. And so I'm going to give them double honors, and I'm going to say shalom.